Good evening, everyone. I'm Dire Penguin, and this is your first look at Unending Galaxy, a new game out on Steam, though it's been available on the developer website for some time now. This has been made by Anarchus Gaming, and best known for their work on the X Universe series of games, having done some modding there, and now they've branched into game development. And this is their first game. So congratulations, guys. It's as I said, it's been available, but it's not actually early access. This game is released, though they are still patching and promising content for the game well beyond release. And at the rate they've been going, I have no reason to believe that that's not true. Um, this is a new version of the game, and it's been about a month and a half since the previous version, so that's reasonable. And they have some modding tools in there. You can easily add ships and things, but you're not going to be able to modify the AI and things like that as much. To my understanding, I haven't delved deeply into that. I've just played the game enough to realize that I'm not very good at it. So we're going to have fun with that. But this game is a 4X, as I said, but it's a little bit atypical. It's not like your civilization or your endless universe in the space. Um, your other kind of similar 4X games, even going back to Master of Orion and things like that. This is a real-time 4X, but it is more economy based. The economy is a core part of the game, and you can see that X Universe influence in that because those are very economic games. It might take you weeks to build up a base of operations in that game where you actually have AI ships going about and doing trading for you and things like that. It's significantly faster in this game. You're going to be able to do that within the first couple of minutes, honestly. But you're all everything in the game is accessible to you from the start, and I really like that because I like building these automated systems and seeing it work and doing that efficiently. And it also gives you the opportunity to approach the game where everyone is not on an equal footing. In something like Civilization or Endless Space or any of those other games, everybody almost everybody starts on an equal footing. I think in Master of Orion there's a race that doesn't, but everyone's starting on an equal footing, and research wins. You might remember in something like Civilization, I keep using that because that's a fairly common one, but there are buildings in there that help you to research faster. And so the first one to those buildings gets the advantage and extends their lead. And as you do research, gosh, I mean, those things completely stomp the things that came before it. So the people who are ahead get further ahead. In this game, it's not the case. We're actually going to be taking a start in this playthrough where we start as a lowly trader, just somebody who trades from one station to another, and that's the default start for the game, and we're going to take advantage of that. And we're going to build ourselves up and hopefully start taking territories and becoming an actual faction in the game. And I really like that because we start out behind, but we can get ahead. So we're going to go ahead and go forward with this, and I'm going to explain more as we go along. But this game is actually technically the deluxe version of the game. If you're interested in this game, you can go to their website. If you visit on Steam, you can get the link from the sidebar. Go to their website or itch.io, and you can download the basic version of the game, which, as far as I'm aware, is free. If you buy it on Steam, you're actually getting the deluxe edition, which has more maps, the mod tools, possibly even the procedural generation. I'm not sure. So, and speaking of which, in here there are some maps that are made. This is the developer. He's very active on the forums, so I recognize him. And there are these maps that are made by him. We're going to skip over the game tutorial. And as well as procedurally generated. And as far as I can tell, this is the only one that takes advantage of this tab, even though it's available here. So just be aware of that. You can generate random maps. I'm going to go ahead and show what it would generate here. As you can see, it's very linear, but it's there. You can take advantage of it. It's probably going to be actually better on small maps. because you're going to get less of that predictability in the map. But you can see it, and you can change these to tweak to your liking. Um, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use the ones that he made, because we're going to assume that the developer of this game knows what he's doing, at least better than I do. So you can still customize it. These conditions or criteria here affect how the map plays out. For instance, you can say, well, go ahead and randomize the start locations, although interestingly, it doesn't change it over there. But we're going to leave it at map default, and we're actually going to change the expansion to map default as well. Instead of this, the map is colonized at 50%. The reason for that is the artificial intelligence apparently recently, at least according to the forums, was buffed. So they're much better at producing ship parts and building, and they rapidly expand. There appears to be this timing window in the game where if you haven't started to take sectors, you're just going to get locked out of building sectors, and that's okay, because again, remember, in the game you can be the underdog and you can come out on top, and because of it, you can be economy based. You can be this neutral party in all the wars. But for the purposes of this run through, I'm going to want to take some systems and show you how that works. And for me, that's a fun part of the game. So I'm going to put this at map default, because this doesn't look like 50% of the galaxy to me. These are pirate sectors here, this gray that's not actually a faction. As far as I know, they don't expand. You also can't take those sectors, but all the other ones are going to be available. You're going to notice that there's also this fleet supply. If you have a slow computer, you're going to have to take advantage of that. They actually warn you on possibly the map generator. Somewhere in here, I saw mentioned that they were recommending for the largest size maps, they were recommending at least a quad core computer. I haven't tried that, or at least I haven't gotten far enough in the game to tell if that's really true, or whether that's even good enough. But be aware of that this is simulation based. So you might, if you have a weaker computer, you might be a little bit hesitant, because you may only be able to access the smaller maps. Okay, so I think we're going to leave the map defaults here. And again, here's that win condition I was talking about, how if you leave it on sandbox, as far as I know, it's just you quit either when you take over everything, or you quit when you quit, as opposed to the AI has, or you and the AI are racing to some particular goal. So I have this scenario here, and this is what I was talking about. The default of the game is actually to be a trader, and you can read here what it gives you. But you can also start as an entire empire if you want. You could start as a pirate, which sounds really rewarding, and it's something I want to do, but I'm not good enough at the game yet to do that. Some of these other ones sound fantastic. I mean, start with a dock builder, a fleet of cargo ships, and a lot of money. That sounds great. You go out and you claim some territory, and you just get started there. But we're actually going to start with that neutral trader. This is the one that the game defaults to, and is the one that it starts you out, I think, in the tutorial as. So it gives you a good impression of the different phases of the game and the different areas of the game that you're going to be able to play, and might give you a better idea of whether it's something that you might want to do if you were to pick up this game. Additionally, you can customize your faction. I heartily recommend, if you start the same way I do, you go over here. It's something that you almost never do when you pick up a game, is go in and start mucking about with the faction, because you don't know what's good and what's not. But this is just criminal. The default start to the game leaves you with points available. Why would you do this? So I'm going to pick up and say, colonies give 20% more tax income. Sounds fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and take that. You can see that some of these are things that take points, and some of them are actually things that give you points. You can also, actually, no, this is what we should probably do. You can also say you have a tech group. And if you do that, you'll notice that there's this independent tech up here. And that's shared technology that everyone can use. Everyone has available to them. But you can take that as an option. So let's go ahead and take that trader back off. We're just going to pick a tech group. They have frail ships, but they're Actually, that doesn't sound all that good, now does it? Strong colonies on jungle worlds. Let's take, well, we could take human or something. Heavy nuclear warhead. That sounds nice. And we'll go ahead and take that independent technology. So we're going to play as the humans, which probably means that independent tech point is wasted because it's probably the same technology, but maybe not. I'm going to leave the rest of this the same because some of these just, the 10% here and there just don't sound as strong as the economic ones. Factory building time reduced by, it might be worth it to actually take trader over that. I don't know. It depends on how many systems we get. So we're going to go ahead and start, and here's the game. I'm going to immediately pause because, like I said, this game is real time, and we start out on the map. There's a sector map, or galaxy map, which we can expand out, and we can see this is actually pretty sizable. So inside the game, we're not restricted to looking at these cells from this view. We can actually fly around in here, and in fact, there's actually a map inside of this sector where you can see the all the ships and all the stations that are currently where you are. So you start out, since I'm a neutral trader, I've got this transport with me here, and I can give him orders. I can set up automation on him. I can look at what he's got. Everything in this game is simulated. I can even set rules if he had weapons, which he doesn't, of what he should do. I also have this ship here, and this is an interesting thing in this game is you can be in either RTS mode or you can control the ship. So I can directly control the ship. I can fly it around. Let me make sure it's safe. I can fire weapons. I can fly around to wherever I want and attack whoever I want. The camera controls in this game are a little bit tricky. You'll see me fumble with them a little bit, but you can actually disassociate yourself from the ship and move around independently. And in fact, now I can actually select the ship and even automate him. I can be in control of no ship in the game, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to tell this guy to just go off on his own and be a trader. Let's make sure he's an armed transport. Interesting. Okay, we're going to go ahead and set him up to be a trader and assign him. Oh, we are not where I thought we would be. Okay, so I don't necessarily know where the best place to go to expand is, but that's going to be okay. We're going to work with it. I'm going to set him up to just trade. This is just tells him to go out and search for trades on his own, navigate around, and try to make me money, which is fantastic. I love somebody else trying to make me money. So I could set a range for how far he should go, and that looks okay to me. So he's going to go off. He's going to do his own thing. You'll see he immediately goes somewhere, and I can even ask him what he's doing. He's buying steel. Fantastic. So now we have to consider what we want to do. I'm going to be using this ship for at least for the beginning of the game, and trying to make some more money so that we can start to expand. So here's our empire list. All our assets, all our colonies, all our missions, diplomacy, all the galactic news, all that stuff. And this is going to be actually, to me, it evoked the strongest memories of my time in EVE Online, having these different wallets that you can assign money to that the AI can take advantage of. In this case, yeah, it's not your friends, it's the AI. And right now we're setting everything to trading, which is just what we want. We want that trader to use all of the credits available to make me more money. But eventually, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to allocate some of that money to station building, to military building, which can be either ships or military bases, which are used to take over territory, and diplomacy, which is used to either pay off bounties or to send credits to other factions and that sort of thing. And you'll notice rules up here that are global rules as opposed to the rules on an individual ship about how your kind of AI governor should interact with the world. So we're actually going to automatically pay this. Now, the reason why is because if you don't pay the bounties on your ships, and I'll be honest, I don't even know how to, the AI will just, bounty hunters will come out of nowhere against you and just continue to come and continue to come. And sometimes they're from factions, so your faction standings continue to degrade with those factions if you don't do this. I would recommend doing this at least until you're familiar with the game, and you can even see the note there that uses the diplomacy account. So later on, I'm going to be allocating a little bit of money into the diplomacy account. At this point in the game, I'm going to try to do nothing that gets me a bounty, so that's going to be okay. That right now I'm sending 0% of my money there. Other things in the game we'll get to once we start expanding and claiming sectors for our own. So we don't have many assets, we have no colonies, we have no missions. Diplomacy, it's worth looking at here at the start to see who are the strong players around us. Some of these are very small, and they appear to be small consistently. We're actually in the space of this independent sector alliance. You can see that on this map. They're teal. But this is where we are. And they are our friends, sort of. They don't like us all that much, but as we do missions for them, they will like us a lot more. The important thing to note here is the military supply. And this is using the ship parts that they have on their planets. What are they capable of fielding? And so you can see who are the strong people right now and who are the weak people right now. And you can see that we actually are already at war with the AI core, and it has almost the strongest military in the game. You want to stay away from that guy, at least in the beginning of the game, but you don't know where he is. He's not visible on this map. He appears to go after whoever is weak, and he'll crop up all over the place. But it's okay. We'll leave him how he is for now. And although I wonder, you can't even talk to him, so you have to leave him as they are. So what we have to do in the beginning of the game is we have to get money. Our goal here, let's actually go over and fly over to a shipyard, and I'm going to be using the RTS style controls because I don't want to accidentally shoot and hit stations, because you can do that. Your weapons will hit friendly targets. So we're actually going to fly over here and open up the shipyard menu and see that these are all the ships I can actually buy from this station. Just straight up with money, I can buy these ships. And in fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this small ship, and I particularly target this one because it gives you the decent cargo space and is the cheapest of the ones that do. I'm going to stick a mining laser on him, and I'm going to set him up as a miner. He's going to go off and he's going to mine for me. Hopefully he doesn't get killed by pirates. If he does, that would be extremely unfortunate. But we're going to try it. I'm just going to immediately outright buy this guy. And he's now available. I can now give him orders. I can tell him to be an asteroid miner because he's got that mining laser. And I actually, from this menu, I can't see where the asteroids are. It's a little bit annoying. You're supposed to be able to toggle these. It looks like there's some over here and some near me. Let's just go ahead and go back to that map and look at where the asteroids are. So there are some near me. This should be relatively safe. There don't appear to be any pirates here. And we can verify that because we can't verify that because we don't have anybody there. Or I could send them down here. Every one of these alliances or empires starts out at least somewhat friendly. Well, not Titan, okay. But somewhat friendly, that I am in positive standing with them, obviously, except for the AI core. So I don't have anything too much to worry about them. If I was going over here, I'd be a little bit worried about the pirates coming out of this large pirate area over here. So we may want to stay away from them for the short term. But since we only have one ship, we can send him over here. Let's do that. Again, you're going to see me struggle with this camera a little bit. And when you're paused, you can't see things. So he is going off to... Okay, he's already set up the way we want. This is our home base. He's already set up the way we want. So choose there. Blacklist pirates. Fantastic. As you can see, I struggle a little bit with the camera, and I have continued to do this over maybe 8 hours of play at this point. There are actually 3 keys to control what your camera is doing. There is the T key, which toggles whether you have free camera mode or RTS camera mode. There is the R key, which I believe goes back to what your previous camera was. Then there is also the C key, which allows you to change what your active ship is if you have multiple ships. And sometimes that always changes you to active control mode. There's little reason to use this mode that I have found. I just kind of RTS mode him everywhere. Because again, you saw me able to shoot the weapons here, and if that hits one of these stations, they will open fire on me, obliterate me, I'll take a faction standing hit, I might get pirates after me, or excuse me, bounty hunters after me, that sort of thing. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to RTS them around because that just seems safer to me. And we're in the beginning of the game. So let's take a look at our assets. You'll notice I don't have very much money at all. That's really going to restrict the trading I can do. And we're going to do some trading here at the beginning of the game with this ship, just to build up our money enough that we can buy a few more AI ships. So if we go in here, we can also see what jobs are available. And for the most part in the early games, I like to focus on these energy cells. Energy cells are the basis for all of the economy in the game. Well, besides credits. There are production chains that the game has. So, for instance, as human, we might be able to build buildings that are wheat farms. And then those wheat farms we can take to cattle farms. And then those cattle farms can take the cattle to food processors, I think is what they're called. And they make space rations. And then we can sell those. And we can sell anything along the way, but there's this clear production chain that goes from a base good up to a final good. And in fact, you might even be able to send those to ale breweries and make alcohol and things like that, which is worth a lot of money in the game. Surprise, surprise. But all of these things need energy cells to produce anything. At least everything that I've found in the game does. So you'll see a lot of demand for these energy cells. And also, they're really cheap. And the things that make the energy cells, the solar power plants, don't require anything in return. Once they're built, they just produce forever. And they kind of generate this wealth. The other reason for taking them is, for one, they're cheap. Two, they're always available because, again, there's nothing is required to produce them. And third, they only take one cargo slot. Because I started as this neutral trader and I sent off the actual trader ship, my little, honestly, it's more like a military ship, has a very small cargo. So I can't even fulfill this quest right here because it would take 250 units of cargo space because the energy cells take one cargo each. Some of these other things take a lot more than that. And rather than keep all that information in my head, I let my AI traders fulfill those needs and focus on the energy cells myself. So if I double click on this, I accept that mission. As far as I can tell, there's no repercussion if I fail to perform a mission, but we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to show you how to do basic trading and make a little bit of money. You'll see this number go up and down, especially right at the beginning as your AI traders are going out and making deals. That asteroid miner, as far as I know, does not require any credits once he is built, unlike the traders. But he brings in a lot of money, assuming he doesn't get attacked by pirates. He's actually going to be a big money maker in the beginning of the game. Seems disproportionate. It seems a high risk, high reward kind of thing. Generally, the asteroids, I think they're limited in quantity over a given period of time, and also the pirates like to target them. So if I quit out of this menu and go into my Empire menu here, I can go over to missions, I can see this, and in fact you'll see that the destination for that quest is now highlighted. It doesn't tell me where I can go to get energy cells because I can get those in a number of different places, including trading stations, you can see back here behind the menu, as well as solar power plants. I'm going to go to the solar power plant. I need to get 100 cells. I get a reward for that, and that's generally more than you're going to be able to sell that for. So let's go up here, and I can give him an order here just to go up here. And I'm going to go ahead and follow him, but I'm not actually in control of him. I still have RTS controls over him. So go ahead and talk. I can go to trade, and there's 140. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and... I have 30 credits. Thanks, AI. Okay, so my AI trader has taken all of my credits. I can now not buy enough to do this mission. Nice UI bug there. Okay, so while we're taking this time, and he's now taken all of my money, let's go over and see what he's doing. He's selling iron ore now. So we can see how much he's got. He's got 199 units, and that's worth or he bought it for 9,950. Hopefully he's going to be able to sell it for a nice profit. So while we have no money, why don't we explore our neighborhood and see what we can see? Let's go over here to our asteroid belt. Actually, we can already see that. So let's go over here. And our ship should appear here in a few moments. Actually, I'm kind of surprised he's taking that long to get there. He didn't go. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, as you can see, camera's a little bit tricky in this game. So he's flying up there. We'll follow him around while we wait for... Oh, we already have the credits. So this is the sun. Usually the sun is where you're going to find the most of these solar power plants because, in fact, at this sun, there is room for 7 of them. So that's a lot. So we'll just go over here. And everything in this game is fair, by the way. The AI is following the same rules that you are. So you'll actually notice that this tanker here, he will buy from the same resources that I have access to. And that's actually really impressive that this whole simulation is obeying the same rules that you do. For the most part, I think the AI core can break some rules, but they're following the same rules that you do. So if these stations, if the AI stations aren't getting the parts that they, or the components that they need to produce things, they won't. And if they don't produce things, then they won't make ship parts, they won't be able to build more ships, that sort of thing. You can actually cripple the AI by making strategic strikes on them and destroying select buildings. Against an empire that's a little bit less effective because they're probably going to be able to just rebuild those facilities and they have the funds to do so. But especially against the pirates, that's a viable strategy. In fact, in my game I was playing, and I might load up to show you further on in the game, I couldn't claim the pirate sectors, but I took them over. I destroyed all their buildings. I destroyed their star bases. They couldn't buy more ships in that area. So that was surprisingly effective to me. So let's go here and we can buy 200, sure. Why don't we just go ahead and do that? We're probably going to be able to sell these for a profit anyway, so why not? In fact, let's go ahead and fly around to one of the other stations and see if we can't get the last 40 units so that we aren't wasting our time flying around. So you can actually talk to these guys. You can actually see what they're doing if you talk to them here. I can ask what he's doing, and he's going and looking for some energy cells. I can actually sell him some energy cells. So, well, I would be able to if he accepted. But I could potentially just sell to a random ship flying by, and that's pretty compelling. Most games wouldn't let you do that. Apparently I didn't actually buy at the last place, so let me do that. I now have 240 of them, which is not very much. This tanker can probably carry 3,000 of them, maybe. So let's head back down here. There's a faster way to get there if you're traveling long distance that I can show you, and it's a jump drive. It's limited in range, and you can only do it once every 30 seconds, I think. Oh, for some reason I'm following the tanker. All right. So now we need to go here for our quest. We'll go ahead and do that. All you have to do is get close, and maybe I have to be in control. Whoops. Yeah, that's why I don't like doing it. Okay, it just took a few moments. Let's go back to free camera mode. Okay, fantastic. So now we've made some more money, and in fact you can see that we're getting significant funds in from our trader and our miner. Now, surprisingly, our miner hasn't brought back in. Oh, he's selling. Okay, so we can go look at this guy. We can go look at this guy, and we can see how much he's able to sell these for. So this is what we're looking at the moment. He's going to come over here. He's going to sell, I believe, yeah, he's selling at a steel factory, which needs the ore. And I'm not sure who that was him. That may have been our trader. He's just on standby. He should... Are we out of asteroids here? Oh, there are no asteroids here anymore. Is that true? Yeah, it looks like there are no asteroids here. Okay, so this turns out to be probably a bad place for him. Well, actually, he has moved on. Okay, he was in another zone. See, that camera is a little bit tricky. That's something that I expect I'll get better at, but He's now flying back to the asteroids. He was all the way up here, so where he was selling. So he found a good deal. So let's see how much money he made us. He made us 3,000. Not a lot. But that money will rapidly increase once you get a few more of these. So let's go back to our main ship and make sure okay, good. So I still have some energy credits. I can go around here. I can try to find another quest. Actually, this is a place I can get quests. That's not a place I can get quests from. We'll go over here to the trading station. I might be able to sell to these buildings. Like I said, they all need energy cells. But we can also look and see if we have 400. Yeah, there's no way I can do that. What I might do is buy myself a trader that I can fly around as, and that way I can fulfill some of these large quests because there is incentive to do so. Every time you fulfill one of these quests, you'll notice you're getting this reputation, which is over here on the diplomacy tab. I have now improved my standing with this independent sector alliance. So there is a lot of incentive for doing that. But I'm just interested in making money at the moment. So I might be able to go here, try to sell. I bought them for 10, sell them for 15. Not sure why it says I'm taking a loss on that because really that's not a loss, but let's go ahead and do that. There are a few things in this game that, like I said, need to be ironed out, but the developer is seemingly proactive on patching the game. So we can go ahead and buy another 160 of these. Let's see if these need them. Ship part factory. They will buy energy cells, electron components, and steel. So, yep, nope. We bought for 10. They're selling for 7. As far as I can tell, by default, every AI solar power plant will always sell them for 10. And they'll buy it for 13. Sure, at this point, we need any money we can get our hands on. It's not very much at all, but we need it. So let's activate our jump drive by pressing the J key, and you can see I can jump a certain distance away. And it doesn't matter. Even you can cut corners this way. You can see I'm cutting the corner here if I were to jump that way. It'll charge up. I think it takes 5 seconds. I think I canceled it. Okay, we're just going to tell him to move over here. I think I canceled that. I've got to wait for it to recharge. There he is. Okay, so if I actually take control of him, I can look at his jump drive. Yeah, his jump drive is restarting. I must have canceled it. So let's go ahead and buy from here. Only 80 of them. It's not very many, but fortunately there's more of them. And they're building a wheat farm here? No, what do you know? It has room for a factory. Wheat farms, I believe, only need solar power plants, so that's actually pretty smart of the AI to do that. But the nice thing is, right when this thing builds, there stands a chance I'm going to be able to make some good money because it's not going to have energy cells, and I might just be able to sell off a whole bunch of it before it modifies its price. Let's see if I can do that. Yes. As soon as I sell, you'll notice the price goes down, and now it would no longer be profitable to sell there. But I have enough credits to buy another ship already. I'm maybe, 15 minutes into the game, and I can already start expanding beyond my starting credits. I can buy more ships. I can start expanding my automation, and I'll be following this asteroid mining and trading approach for a little while. But I think we're out of time for episode 1. So come back for episode 2, and we'll see if we can expand more.